Welcome back, dear viewers, and congrats for not only the Red Devils, but for all the Egyptians, actually, because it's supposed to be really a victory for all the Egyptians, all the Egyptian clubs, not only for Ahli or Zamalek, it's for all the Egyptian clubs winning the Intercontinental Cup yesterday against Al Ain of Emirates, and it was a great victory with 3 clean goals. What we're supposed to say, it's the tactic of Marcel Kuller, it's the plan, the defensive and offensive plan, it's the high confidence and high moral of all the team, it's the the physical fit, of course, despite that Kuller before the match, he said that please wait, because the team is not fully physically fit. So we're going to analyze this with our captain, our guest, Mohamed Adel, the sports critic. Morning and congrats, Captain Mohamed.
Good morning.
So first, how you find your comments first concerning the match in general, and then we're going to go through the tactic, the plan, the main reasons for the victory of yesterday.
Well, Al Ahly yesterday did a great game versus Al Ain. They scored only 3 goals. They had the ability to score more than 3 goals yesterday versus Al Ain because they played very well on the weaknesses of Al Ain. And Al Ahly played in the gaps of
Despite Al Ain is really a very strong team, but yesterday they were not in a form.
Well, about Al Ain this season, there is a big gap between the offensive line and the defensive line. And all the football fans saw Al Ain versus Al Hilal, versus Al Gharrafa in the Asian Champions League, versus the Double Hasn in the Emirati League. There is a big gap between the offensive line and defensive line. We all know that the defensive line of Al Ain is not that great. They have many gaps, they have many weaknesses, and Al Ahly played in it very well yesterday. Since the first minute of the game, Al Ahly had the ability to score, had 3 chances in the first 10 or 11 minutes. So Al Ahly convinced his fans very well yesterday, on the opposite of the dual super games versus Zamalek, whether the African one or the Egyptian one. Al Ahly did a great game yesterday, beginning from the goalkeeper Mohamed till the central forward player Wissam Abu Ali.
Wissam Abu Ali, yes, the Palestinian Wissam Abu Ali, and Afsha, and also Imam Ashur. Who's supposed to be the man of the match, by the way?
All the Al Ahly team did a great game, from the defensive line, the midfield line, and the offensive line. The high press of Al Ahly since the first minute did a big job for Al Ahly to manipulate on the game and control the game 100%. And they did divide the game into minutes, to high press in the first 15 minutes, to, then the medium block from the in the second quarter or second third of the first half. Then did a great game and get the wrongdoings of Al Ain defenders, especially in the first goal of Wissam Abu Ali. He did great in the first goal. He was very conscious of the wrongdoings of the defensive line. Al Ahly did a great game versus Al Ain yesterday.
Yeah. Concerning this, who's supposed to be the man of the match, your point of view?
Well, if
Wissam,
I have the
Imam,
ability
Afsha, Shenawi,
who? Man of the match, I will give it to the fans. Really. I will give it to Al Ahly fans whom were attending since 2 p.m. before the game, about 6 hours pre the game. They had all the load on Al Ain players. I believe that Al Ain players got scared or astonished by the huge amount of fans. We are talking about 65 or 70K of Al-Ahli fans. I believe if I have the ability to choose, I will choose Al-Ahli fans.
Yeah, I was supposed actually to ask you about the great impact of the fans of Al-Ahli who filled the Cairo International Stadium yesterday. How was it? Really great, and for the all players with the emotional, they did mobilize their emotions.
Of course, absolutely, because it's the importance of having great fans and that amount of people in the stadium gives the power to the players. It's something great for the big clubs like Al-Ahli, Zamalek, even Al-Hilal in Saudi Arabia, Al-Ittihad in Saudi Arabia, Ahli Jeddah, if we are talking about the Arab clubs, having that amount of fans, of course, will give the power for the players on the pitch. Al-Ahli just won the Egyptian Super Cup with penalty kicks versus Zamalek. They have the power, and they complete the power by the attendance of the 70K of Al-Ahli fans. And I believe there are more and more fans they want to attend but the tickets were done and they are finished. So if I have the ability to choose, I will choose Al-Ahli fans to be man of the match.
All right, let's move to the side of her Hamas al-Kula. How about we would like to analyze his tactic, his plan, his analysis for the players themselves, and making SWOT analysis for each player using his strength points and avoiding his weakness, and how he tried to harmonize all this in a great match like the one.
Well, we are talking about of the season, so we cannot put a clue or anything nowadays because we are still in the beginning of the season. But I believe
this is what he said exactly. Yes,
got the solution of the midfield dilemma, because there were a problem in the midfield line, but the trio of Marwan Atiyah, Ahmed Nabil Kouka, and Imam Ashur, I believe it will be the biggest solution for Marcel Koller for the midfield line. I believe the attendance of or the presence of Ahmed Nabil Kouka in specific will give the ability for moving forwards and backwards for Al-Ahli, having many attempts to the third offensive line for Al-Ahli. I believe Al-Ahli played very well on the weaknesses of Al-Ain yesterday, but we are waiting for the beginning of the Egyptian League, the beginning of the African Champions League, so as to get a clue for Marcel Koller this season formation. He's playing with a football formation of 4-3-3. But when Al-Ahli are in the defensive situation, they are playing with 5 players. We are having the right winger and left winger doing defensive actions. Mohamed and Hussein al-Shahat are having their defensive actions to do, and we saw it yesterday, so as to close any gap possible gap in the Al-Ahli defensive line. If we saw the game again in the defensive situation for Al-Ahli, and when Al-Ain have the ball, we'll find 5 players in the defensive line by the Rami Rabia and Yasser Ibrahim in the central back. We will find the right winger Mohamed and the left winger Hussein al-Shahat are doing their defensive actions, because the left and right back, whether Akram Tawfiq or Yahya Atiyatullah, they are doing their press action versus the Al-Ain midfielders. So we are having some sort of not that new way of defending for Al Ahly, but we saw it also versus Pyramids in the last Egyptian League, the game which ended 3-2 for Al Ahly. We saw the same idea. So Marcel Koller playing the great games like the decisive games versus Pyramids in the Egyptian League versus Al Ain yesterday with that way. We are playing with the back five line in the defensive action. So I believe it's a success for Marcel Koller to close the gaps which can be available for the Al Ahly opponents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was actually, Captain Adel, to ask you about your evaluation concerning the changes of Koller also yesterday within the match. You mentioned some, but in general, how you evaluate the changes of Koller?
Well, I believe Koller, the beginning, the real beginning of the season was yesterday versus Al Ain. The changes happened. There is no great changes happened by Marcel Koller, but finding the way that he will begin with it the season with Al Ahly. The fans was not convinced at all by the African Super Cup or the Egyptian Super Cup, although they won the Egyptian Super Cup by penalty kicks, but we saw the performance of Al Ahly players was not that great. But I believe the real beginning of the season for Marcel Koller was yesterday. I believe the changes will not be very huge. It will be for one or two players for changing the way Marcel Koller playing with Al Ahly, because I believe the ordinary way that ordinary formation Marcel Koller is playing became obvious for most of the teams. So Marcel Koller is still searching for a new way to convince the opponents to be under the ball, to be under attack by Al Ahly. So we'll see during the season what will happen, because it's just one game. We are in the beginning of the season. We cannot give anything for Marcel Koller. We should see or watch between 5 or 6 games, whether in the Egyptian League, which will Al Ahly will begin next Saturday versus Ceramica Cleopatra, or the African Champions League, which will begin in November. We'll see what happened or what the changes. Is there a huge change in Marcel Koller's way of thinking during the games? We'll see in the near future.
Yeah, and this is exactly what Koller had said and had mentioned in his press conference. He said it's still so early to be so happy with what we are achieving, because we are still in the beginning of the season. Do you believe that we are Al Ahly with this, or the Red Devils with this victory, are able to pass through or get through to reach the final of that championships, yes, and to meet with Real Madrid?
We're waiting for the two other opponents, whether Pachuca of Mexico and the champion of the Copa Libertadores of Latin America. Yesterday was the second games of the semi-finals in the Copa Libertadores. I believe the game will be very difficult, but on the same time it will be on the beginning of the half of the season. So the players get playing many games, whether in the local league or the African Champions League. I believe the game will be in 90 days, in 45 days from today. It will be playing in Qatar. So it's just 2 games for Al Ahly to be the Intercontinental Cup champion. The winner of the semi-final will play versus Real Madrid. I believe it's a very harsh game. Whether for the two teams, whether Al Ahly or the winner of the America's Derby, I believe it will be very hard, but it's very fun to be playing. It's a fun. Having fun to play in that level of championships in the Intercontinental, the new shape of the Club World Cup, which will have a new shape next June, inshallah, in the United States of America, with the 32 teams, with the European and the
of course, and it will be a great it's too early, and so the beginning of the season.
Yes.
If you say it's the beginning of the season, but it's a good start.
For all the teams, not only that.
Yeah, of course, it's a good and great start for the giant Al Ahly, of course, and to support them also to pass through and to reach to the final and to meet Real Madrid. This is what we wish now, and we are actually relying on them, and we are supporting them as an Egyptian team, not only as Al Ahly, as I said, because it's a victory for all the Egyptian cups, a victory for Egypt. So congrats for all the Egyptians with the Interconti or Intercontinental Cup. And
and the Egyptian League will begin today. We'll begin a new season today for the Egyptian League. We'll see the new system of the Egyptian League, the result of the new system, and the exceptional system of the Egyptian League. We'll see its effect on all the teams in general, and for Ahly, of course. And I have a quick word. The shot of Al Ahly versus Al Ain yesterday was the celebration of Wissam Abu Ali first goal. It was magnificent way of celebration by Wissam Abu Ali. He did great yesterday. He was the power, had the power of high press from the offensive, and the way of celebration was great.
Captain Mohamed, Adel, I'm sorry we ran out of time. The sports critic. Many thanks for your insights and critic, and of course congrats for all the Egyptians, as we mentioned, for all the Egyptian cups, for the winning the Intercontinental Cup, and we are waiting and so excited to get more championships. And many thanks for watching, dear viewers, and this is the end of our today's breakfast show. I hope you did enjoy it with us, and have a nice day. Thanks and goodbye.